Armchair.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Arma Cokes.
Do you have any idea how important this is? We're trying to save the pub cup. Really? This is what you're doing? This is what you're doing?
Chief, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Armchair.
YouTube Live.
Radio station. The radio station you can call your own. Do you know what listeners like about our station?
I like everything. It's always on my radio.
We never stop the music, except for now, when I talk.
Hey, Braves Country, Mac Magee here for American Rebel Beer. America's patriotic light lager, all natural ingredients. Stand tall, be proud. The perfect beer to celebrate life, liberty, and your pursuit of the American dream. America's patriotic light lager, offering a crisp, clean, bold taste. Perfect beer to celebrate life, liberty, and your pursuit of the American dream. A beer with only 110 calories that tastes like a full-flavored beer and celebrates like freedom. You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
Me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
Because he's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man. Yeah, the armchair quarterback. He's kind of fun and he's kind of bad. The all-American man. With a cool one in his head. Well, if you stand and block the screen, you may just lose your life. And that goes for all 30 friends and 30 friends' wives. And then the din falls silent. We just need a yard or two. They wouldn't change that channel now if the Rockettes came on new.
Good morning, everybody. Bobby is on the way. We are set for our draft. I'm going to give you my picks here in a second for the week, because once the draft gets going, we're going to have a heck of a time trying to get anything in. So we'll be doing that here in just 1 second. And good to see everybody here in the Armchair QB Radio, as well as folks who are over in our Braves Country Radio. Now, if you're going to want to ask questions, you're going to have to be a part of the country club. You're going to have to be a member. You can watch over on Armchair QB, because I can't keep an eye on both feeds, and you got to give the people who are actually members something that you don't get over in the other one. So I think it's fair. Good to see folks in the chat, and I'm only in the chat over in the Armchair, or excuse me, in Braves Country Radio's YouTube channel. I will eventually be able to see what's going on in the other chat. I'm just not in it right now. Good to see John and PETA, and I saw Robert earlier as we are getting ready. See, does that? Yeah, that messes it up pretty bad. Let me move this over here, and it'll be easier to see it like that. All right. Bobby will be here in a second, like I just mentioned, and let me go ahead and get some things moved around and give you my picks, my 6-pack of picks for the day. And then after that, Bobby's going to jump in and give you his. And I think I've got, yeah, here it is. This is last week. Now mine is a combined, because I do more than the other guys, because I'm on the Thursday and Friday show, and I've got the radio spots that I do a few picks there. So we have to incorporate all of them because they're referenced on the radio show. And it's going to be a little too confusing if I say, well, on this show, here's my record. On this show, here's my record. So I ended up breaking even. I didn't have a great opening weekend, but I never expect to, because you don't know what the hell to look at. I had a great opening Underdog, I hit my stupid underdog, Florida State rolling the Tide. And so I'm up by 17 with 17 and a half on Bobby and Doug. They both missed their cover, and they obviously did not hit the underdog as well. And the stupid underdog, once again, is when you pick a flat out underdog to win the game outright on the money line. If they cover the spread, you get 3 points. If you don't cover the spread, you lose 3 points. But if you actually hit the underdog, whatever they're down by, so Florida State was a 14.5 point underdog at kickoff. We got the 14.5. So you don't get the 14 plus the cover. You just get whatever you hit with. All right. Just about, what are we, about 20 minutes away from the draft itself. So let me go ahead and rattle off my picks because Bobby's jumping in here soon, and I don't want to confuse everybody. But this is the final draft for us, or at least it's final draft for me. I did some guillotines this week. Enjoyed those. I'll be interested to see how those play. I don't think I've ever done a guillotine before. I don't remember doing one before. I knew what they were, but I think last year and the year before we talked about doing it, but we never actually did it. So I jumped into a bunch of public ones just because I wanted to play them and I want to see how it went. And then some of the guys into the industry reached out to me on the fantasy football end of it and said, hey, we're doing a guillotine league. So I've got one where we got a little bit of cash involved in it, but not much to really write home about. It's more for fun, and we'll just see how it plays. But the guillotine leagues are they're the new thing that everybody is trying, has been trying for the last few years. And I'm excited to see how that plays out. Guillotine league team gets eliminated every week until you get through the entire, I think ours are 14 weeks, and the last man standing takes all the cash. Every time a team gets eliminated, their entire roster goes back out into the wild, and it goes onto the waiver wire. And so that's going to be, so the strategy for me was, I know John said that he was in one in a league last night. I think he said he was drafting. My strategy was get through week 1 and don't worry about the rest. I saw some guys that were planning for down the road. I'm like, yeah, but if you get knocked out, your entire league your entire roster is going to be up for grabs. So what the hell do you care if you end up having a great team for weeks 10 and 11 when you're sitting at home because you spit the bit? So anyways, here we go. The picks of the week, and then I'll give you my locks after Bobby jumps on. I want to give him a chance to make it some picks. But the first one I've got, and I want to double check and make sure that the lines haven't moved drastically. I made these last night and jotted them down. Just want to double check. We go off of the NFL scoreboard on ESPN for all of our picks because it just makes it more uniform. Not saying that the ESPN book is the best, not saying that at all, but it makes it more uniform to do that. So it's still at 8.5. I'm taking the Cowboys plus 8.5. This is one of these ones you're going to hold your nose and you're just going to go, well, I'll check it out later on down the road and see how the line actually plays out. But 8.5, this line has jumped anywhere between 2 to 2.5 points over the last week or so because of the big trade that Dallas made. I don't think one player who plays on defense roughly, we'll say 40 to 50 plays, is worth that big of a line change. And there's a lot of folks in the industry who've been kind of beating that same drum. It's not a popular play. Everybody wants to take the Super Bowl champions and they want to say they're going to roll. But this team has not had him in camp the entire year or the entire offseason. Talking about Micah Parsons, they haven't had Mike in the entire offseason, so they've kind of been building on the idea they weren't going to have him. So I'm going to take the Cowboys. It's going to be a hold your nose kind of pick, but that is going to be my first pick of the 6-pack here. The next one is Los Angeles. The Chargers are getting 3.5 against Kansas City. We went over it last week, how good Jim Harbaugh's numbers are in the first game of the season in his career. He's 5-0 outright, by the way. This is on a neutral site. It's in Brazil. Who the hell knows what that's going to mean, right? But it is on a neutral site. And so I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers. We are doing the draft for people who might just be joining. We're going to do the draft here in a second, but we're getting our 6-pack of picks out of the way. And then Bobby's jumping in here. Should be in here any minute. In fact, I'm going to check on and find out where the hell he is, because it is 9 o'clock. This guy, I'll tell you what. If he's not late, you're actually worried about him. Jamar Chase, give me over 84.5 yards. I think they're going to come out slinging it. I don't trust anything to do with that Cincinnati defense. So a lot of people are trying to sell you a bill of goods on it. Give me Jamar Chase over 84.5 yards receiving. Hell, he could get that on 2 passes. And the Browns, it's a divisional game, and they've got a pretty good defense, but I still think Jamar Chase gets over that number, even in week 1. I know it's a little dicey. Give me Arizona and New Orleans. I'm getting the number under minus 150. I think it's minus 135 at under 44.5 points total. Give me that all day long. I think that is going to be a solid pick. These are 2 teams who are probably going to play like an old-fashioned rock fight in the first half. So if you want to take the first half under, feel free. I believe it's 23.5, somewhere in that number. But I could get the under 44.5 off the jump, and for the entire ball game, I just feel like this is going to be an old-fashioned rock fight. At the end of the day, I'm seeing a score somewhere around like 19-17, something like that. So Cardinals, Saints offense, I don't expect much from. I think the Cardinals defense, by the way, I like that as a streaming defense to this week in fantasy football. If you don't draft a defense early and you're looking for something at the end, usually pick them up after the draft. Tampa Bay and Atlanta, I think this is going to be a shootout, an old-fashioned shootout. Always late, if never here. Here comes Bobby. Bobby, I'm finishing up my 6-pack of picks. What was this? My 5th pick, Tampa Bay and Atlanta. So I can turn this off and quit being distracted by it. Tampa Bay and Atlanta over 47.5. I've got that number. The key thing on this is we won't take anything that is over minus 150 and give it to you as a pick, because those are really, really bad. Minus 150 is pushing it, but we'll accept minus 150. But anything over minus 150 is not a pick. And then, so over the 47.5 for that game, as you can get that pretty legit across the board. You can even get it down to 46.5. I might be taking that under the minus 150. But, in fact, I can get it right now. So let me go ahead and call it 46.5. But I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's going to be old-fashioned shootout. And then the last one on the docket, I've got to double-check this on this app real quick, because good morning, Bobby. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to football being back. I'm looking forward to get this fantasy draft going as well. I'm happy with how I did last time. I was able to scoop up Jamar Chase with my 2nd pick. Maybe I'll be able to do that again.
Tell you what, go ahead and start giving us your picks. And sure, if you can, text me your picks as well, because sure. I don't have the stuff in front of me I'm normally going to have, because we're doing all the draft stuff here, and that's just one nightmare. So text me your picks as well, but give us your 6-pack of picks. I'm looking up my last pick because I want to make sure that the number hasn't changed.
Okay. Sure. So I'll start off with, I got a few NFL picks and I got a few college football picks. I'll start rattling off the NFL picks first. My first one, I have Dolphins plus 1.5 versus the Colts. That line it might have been minus 1.5 for the Dolphins. Let me check to make sure I didn't get that wrong, because that doesn't sound right. But whether it's minus 1.5 or plus 1.5 for the Dolphins, I got that.
There you are, 2024. There you are.
There you go, JJ.
It actually came in just in time. All right, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries. So yeah, I got Dolphins to cover here. The Colts, I think I've been saying this since even before the whole Anthony Richardson saga, when we were going over our picks and our predictions in the preseason for how each division would fare out. I think the Colts are very bad. They're poor. And with that firepower that the Dolphins offense has, I don't think Daniel Jones and company is going to be able to keep up with them. So I have the Dolphins covering that 1.5-point spread pretty easily. My next one I have is Vikings -1.5 versus the Bears on Monday Night Football. The Bears, I think they'll improve off last year. I think they'll be better, but they didn't make a ton of improvements over the offseason. They added Luther Burden, which is big. They added Colston Loveland as well, which is big to the offense. But overall, not enough that I really think moves them up to that next level compared to where they were at last year. So I think the Vikings are going to win, and I think they're going to cover that 1.5-point spread. JJ McCarthy, I think he'll have a pretty easy role in that offense. He's not going to be asked to do a whole lot in the Kevin O'Connell offense, and he's got a lot of playmakers to get the ball to. So I'm confident in the Vikings in this game and the rest of the year on Monday Night Football. My next one and my last NFL pick, I have the Bengals versus Browns game going over 47.5 total points. That's one of the noon games. The Bengals offense, they were the most explosive offenses in football, if not the most explosive offense in football last year, as we all know. And that Browns secondary, apart from Denzel Ward, who, excuse me, Denzel Ward is going into that game questionable. But even apart from him, that secondary as a whole is not very good. I think the Browns are gonna struggle here. I think the Bengals are gonna light up the scoreboard, and I think they're gonna easily.
What's the number that you're getting? I didn't catch that.
I saw it 47.5 on ESPN.
Okay, 47.5. Just the over.
Yeah.
Over
47.5. I think the Bengals are going to light up the scoreboard. I think.
Before I forget, I want to give my last pick of six packs.
Sure.
I just wanted to double check it hadn't moved. It hasn't. Dobbins, J.K. Dobbins over 45.5 yards rushing. I think they're going to pound the ball against the Titans, and I think 45.5 is pretty gettable for a guy who's going to get the bulk of the carries. I do think you're going to see some Harvey mix in there, but I still believe that it's going to be the first few weeks. It's going to be, and if he takes off and he stays healthy, you never know. RJ Harvey could end up being a lost fantasy pick, but I think he's going to be able to get to 50 yards plus fairly easy. And so give me Dobbins over the 45.5 yards rushing. All right, back to you. Sorry.
No worries. But yeah, the reason I'm taking the over in that game is just because I think the Browns will be playing from behind for most of the game. I think they'll put up a little bit of points. I think the Bengals will be doing the bulk of that work.
I think it'll be honestly, I think it'll be a really high scoring game.
Yeah, I did too. I don't think it'll be.
Look at the weather, but I can't imagine weather's a factor this early in the season.
I doubt it. Yeah, and then
3 degrees, as long as the wind's not blowing. The biggest thing with the Browns that I've learned over the years, always double check the wind at that stadium before you drop the bet. Yeah. On Sunday morning, because if it's a strong wind, it turns into an absolute crap show. But it's normally they get those kind of conditions much later in the year, November, December, etc.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the Bengals are going to do the bulk of that work, getting to that 47.5 mark. But with the Browns playing from behind, I think they'll put some points up. I think they'll clear that 47.5 mark pretty easily. Next, my first college football pick, I'm gonna go in with Texas -36.5 versus San Jose State at noon. I know that's a big spread to cover, but I think it's gonna be one of those classic games where a team loses a week 1 game, a good team loses a week 1 game, and they come out against a cupcake team and just beat down on them. I think 36.5. We've seen Arch Manning in the past get some games against not so good teams like Louisiana Monroe, teams like that and stuff. And he's gone out and lit up the scoreboard, played great. So I think we'll see a different Arch Manning than we did last week against a much lower quality team in San Jose State. I think they'll cover that 36.5 point spread. And moving on to USF versus Florida, I got the over 56.5 total points in this game. That game's at 4:15 p.m. USF surprise win over Boise State last week. They smoked them too. They did great. Florida, their offense, I know they played Long Island, which is a cupcake team. They should light up the scoreboard against them. But Florida looked really good on offense. DJ Lagway had a great game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game between these two teams. So I'm going to go with the over 56.5 between USF and Florida. And then my last lock of the week, I'm going to go with Arizona State -6.5 versus Mississippi State. I know Arizona State's making that trip all the way out to Mississippi. which can be tough on some teams. But it is a 7:30 p.m. game, so the time zone difference, it won't be like super early for them. They're not playing at noon, so they won't be playing while they're wiping the eye boogers out. So Arizona State, I think they'll be well adjusted to the time zone. I don't think that'll be a problem. And Mississippi State, they're one of the worst teams. Well, they were the worst team in the SEC last year. And Arizona State, I really like them with Sam Levitt at quarterback. Kenny Dillingham, I think he's one of the better coaches of college football. I think they're going to put up a ton of points, and I think they'll easily clear -6.5 versus Mississippi State.
Okay, so I got someone who's confused about the why. Long story short, once again, and I won't address it again, but I got an alert from Jason. We do this show over on Braves Country Radio. You have to be a subscriber to ask questions, and we opened it up over on Armchair QB Radio, which is a side station, is the short of it, that also comes onto the radio end of it, so our radio stations can pick it up. So that's the short of it, and we won't waste time talking about that again. Anyways, so we're moments away from the draft. Real quick, can you give me your picks again, just so I can jot them down, because I was busy dealing with what Jason had me working on.
Yeah, of course. So Dolphins 1.5 versus Colts, plus 1.5 versus Colts. That's at 1 p.m.
Okay.
And then Vikings -1.5 versus the Bears. That's on Monday Night Football.
Okay. And what else?
Bengals versus Browns over 47.5 total points.
What are the last three?
The last three: Texas -36.5 versus San Jose State at noon on Saturday.
Okay.
USF versus Florida over 56.5 total points at 4:15.
Number 56.5.
Yeah, 56.5.
Okay. And the last one?
Arizona State -6.5 versus Mississippi State at 7:30.
All right, cool. I've got that jotted down now. I won't have to worry about that. So we're moments away from the actual draft itself. Welcome in. What was the person's name that was asking questions on the side feed? Evan. Welcome in, Evan. And anybody else who was listening on the radio version of this, as we are coming to you live a little longer than normal on this gig, because I jumped on early to give you the picks. If you're joining us late, real quick, I'm taking Dallas in the points, the Chargers in the points, Jamar Chase to go over 84.5 yards receiving, Arizona and New Orleans and Tampa Bay and Atlanta. I'm taking the Arizona, New Orleans under, the Tampa Bay, Atlanta over, and Dobbins over 44.5 yards rushing. Man, I hate these generic things that pop up on the Yahoo 3 minutes before start. Where
is it that video they tried to just play?
I mean, they give you the most generic advice ever.
Yeah.
Well, okay, here we go.
Well, it's annoying because I'm looking through
the fourth pick. That means you're sitting right in the middle. It means you could go a number of different ways. Just remember, don't screw up. All right. See you next year. You pay some jackass to do that? What the hell?
Seriously.
All right. Anyways, and the day that I ever take any advice from any of these knobs in a draft will be the day they put me in the ground.
Yep.
Dylan is in a guillotine chopped league. Who would you start between Dobbs and Tillman? Man, we just went over that as far as talking about. I don't hate the Tillman start, honestly. Like your gut feeling tells you want to start Romeo Dobbs because you don't know how much involved Golden's going to be, because this is a guillotine league. So you're saying, he's going to get eliminated. But I don't hate the idea of putting Tillman out there because Joe Flacco is going to be starting and against a terrible defense. And
a team that they're going to be playing behind against. So they'll be passing the ball. Yeah.
I wouldn't touch that spread with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Cleveland at home in a divisional game is usually dicey as hell.
That's true.
But I do think the points will be scored eventually. Don't freak out. First half, it's probably going to be like an old-fashioned boxing match, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I just feel like Tillman, because of all the different weapons you have on Green Bay, I feel like Tillman's going to get more targets. And let's hope that Joe Flacco is doing Joe Flacco stuff over the last couple of years, right? He's actually been pretty decent as a starter and can take advantage of that. Look, I know they signed Hendrickson. I get that. That's not going to fix that defense. He was there last year.
Yeah.
And that defense looked terrible. So unless they're doing some things that we have not seen, they just look terrible in the preseason.
Yeah.
Would you go with Dobbs or would you go with Tillman?
I'd go with Tillman.
Yeah, I agree with Dylan. Like I'm not saying I'm most confident about that, but I get where you're at, and you have to have a good week because it's a guillotine league. We were just talking about guillotine leagues at the beginning of the show, and I've done them for the first time that I can remember ever doing them. I did quite a few drafts this week. I think I did 5 of them, and I'm excited to see how it plays out, but I'm not convinced that I'm going to be any good because I've never done guillotine. I've been playing fantasy football since pretty much its inception. I think our first league we ever did was 92 or 90. I think it was 92. But I've been playing fantasy baseball since the late 80s as a kid, mailing it in from the newspaper. All right, picks are starting to roll in. If you see them, Bobby, yell them out to me because I've got junk all over my board. Looks like it was Chase and then Bijan, and now it's up to Envy. She's picking now, and we'll see if she goes where she was talking about going a few weeks ago, or she. Dylan says, "What is a newspaper?" They used to do this thing, and they used to print words on a paper, and they called it news. And so they came up with a very clever name. It was called a newspaper. We used to play those in what used to be called Baseball Weekly. Who does she? Oh, she went with Saquon. I thought she was going to go out there and, you know what? Then I'm going to get him. Give me CD Lamb. She's a Cowboys fan. I'm surprised she didn't go for CD Lamb.
Yeah.
I thought about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Him here at 5 is a good pick for. Yeah, there you
What's
go.
that?
Him here at 5. That was a good pick. Jahmyr Gibbs at 5.
Yeah, I thought about it. I'm not convinced as much as everybody. Plus, I already have 1 or 2 shares of him, but I'm not convinced like everybody else that he's going to be just the workhorse in that offense this year. I still think he's going to get sniped a lot of bit at the goal line with Montgomery. Yeah. I still think he's going to be worth having.
Oh yeah. Well, I think even with Montgomery taking away some of the touches at the goal line, I still think he's got good value. My main concern really is Ben Johnson not being their offensive coordinator and how their offense looks next year. I don't think it'll be a huge drop-off, but it is something to be a little wary of.
JSN or McMillan, week 1?
JSN.
Yeah. I think JSN has to show me that he's not the top dog there for me. McMillan, it's kind of a crapshoot. JSN's the guy. Yeah. And though I do think that's going to be a high-scoring game with McMillan, give me JSN all week long.
Absolutely.
See who has gone off the board here. We've got
Neighbors and McCaffrey just went.
Neighbors and McCaffrey, so it's coming back down. I've got 2 more picks, or 2 picks before me.
Yep.
And Brian Thomas just went, and Mark is getting auto-drafted, so I know where he's going.
That'll be Derrick Henry.
They're going to grab Derrick Henry. They're going to auto-pick him Derrick Henry, which is going to tick off Envy, but it is what it is. That's why I hate getting people who are going to auto-draft. I don't want them in the league, man. It sucks. We will learn lessons and not do that next year. Continue to make lists. I'm going to go ahead and take Drake London, man. I start off with 2 really good receivers. I think there's a lot of depth at workhorse running back this year that there wasn't in previous seasons, so I'm not that concerned about it.
Yeah.
Especially in a shallow league like this. I get 2 of my stud receiver. Plus, you have to start 3 receivers and a flex. So receivers, with their lack of injury, knock on wood, compared to running backs, I like starting. Way back in the newspaper days, is it Dylan? Yeah. We used to draft like freaking the first 3 or 4 rounds was running back, and we didn't care. And that's what you did because the passing game was so up and down, you didn't know who you could rely on.
Yeah.
Saw the guy the other day do the impression for Saturday Night Live. He goes, back in my day, we drafted 4 running backs in a row and we liked it. Exactly what it was, man.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%.
Now the ADP number 1 is a receiver.
Well, do me a favor and continue to let people know who's getting drafted on the board. I can't see it like you can.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I just took Puka Nacua off the board. AJ Brown just went after him to Doug. He's back up on the clock here at the start of round 3. Let's see who he takes. I don't want to say who I want him to take.
Best availables, by the way, they're all running back. So I think I did a good job in picking what I'm picking. You do have receivers. You got Ladd McConkey. The tight end run hasn't began. The quarterback run hasn't began.
Yep. There we go. So let's see. Josh Jacobs goes at the start of round 3. I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor here. That second pick of round 3. I'm going to pick him over Bucky Irving, even though he's listed below him. Taylor had 1,400 yards last year, even though he got injured for a decent bit of the season. I know he was kind of a flop compared to that 1 year that he went number 1. Or the year he went number 1, he severely fell below expectations, but I think he's still solid.
I finally got my guy. I've been in a lot of drafts. I think I talked about him too much, but I finally got Chase Brown.
There you go.
So I got CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, and Chase Brown. And once again, this is a shallow league. It's our radio league where we play for the rights to put your name on the trophy that I picked up at the beginning of the show. It's basically, for folks who didn't see it, it's our version of a Stanley Cup where your name goes on it for infamy. It's a big trophy, and we slap your name on it. We've been doing this since, I think, 2014. So this will be the 12th season, and your name never comes off it. There are a couple people in there that I haven't talked to in years, but they're still on here.
Yeah. Brock Bowers, he just went off the board. Before that, Achane and Ladd McConkey just went back to back. Looks like a tight end run's going to begin because those are two on the list are tight end.
My biggest advice to that would be don't follow a run. Start the run.
Yeah.
Because if you start chasing a tight end pick at this point, what's going to inevitably happen is you're going to end up with the 5th, 6th best tight end when you could have had one of the top running back or receivers available.
Yeah. Robert just went Evans and Cook back to back. James Cook, of course.
Trey McBride, man, his biggest question is, can he get in the end zone? I know who John should be picking, because if he doesn't, I'm going to take him just to be that guy.
There goes Lamar just went off the board. Interesting.
He didn't get his guy. This is really interesting.
John.
I was going to leave your guy there, but I'm going to go ahead and take Kittle. I was going to leave Trey McBride for you. I don't mind getting Kittle on that run. I think he's the best value of the tight ends in the drafts this year. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's going to be, assuming health, and that's what you have to assume with all these guys, I think he's going to be the guy that eats more than anybody in that offense.
Yeah.
With them losing Deebo Samuel, they do still have a pretty good receiving core, but week to week, I think you can rely on what Kittle's going to do compared to what is Ricky Pearsall going to do. When is Brandon Ayuk finally going to come the hell back?
Yeah.
All that stuff. I like the idea of because they're saying Ayuk now it won't be until October at the earliest.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be out for.
And we've all seen that injury before. They tell you beginning October and it's middle of December and he's on a pitch count.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, man, I just screwed myself by drafting that guy early in the draft.
Yep. Let's see. Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels went back to back. I got one of them. I got Jaden Daniels. Josh
Allen got snagged by envy. John,
I was thinking about picking him there.
I'm surprised that he didn't draft him. He was right there. John's a huge Buffalo fan, so I'm surprised he didn't draft him.
Yeah, I'm okay.
This one's for fun, so I try to let y'all have y'all's guys if they fall.
I was able. Doug just drafted. He drafted Calvin Ridley and Kenneth Walker back to back. So I'm gonna go ahead and snag up T. Higgins right there.
John, he was never gonna fall to you, son. He was when you picked. He was 2 picks away from the top, and you were gonna go another 10 picks. That's not happening. That's not happening.
If your guys on the board, just take them.
After the first round, you can't say, "Oh, I wanted them." That's up to that ball's in your court. I'm sorry, that ball's in your court, dumbass. I mean, you can't sit there and get mad when someone goes, "Oh man, I was gonna take freaking Drake London in the 5th round. You took him in the 2nd. That's you stole." No one sniped him. You just dropped the ball and had your head up your ass. You see this with all the draft shows. Oh man, I was listening to one yesterday. The guy was getting mad because someone took somebody. They were in the 10th round. I'm like, dude, you had 9 other rounds to grab this guy. And if the person reached for it, then they did you a favor.
That's true.
I ended up taking Mario Hampton. I think he's going to be the big guy. They did say that. What's the guy's name from Pittsburgh that got his eye?
Najee Harris.
Huh?
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris is good to go this week.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. Najee Harris didn't impress me much in Pittsburgh. Why is he going to impress me now that he's behind Mario Hampton, which I think a lot of people are sleeping on?
And now that he has one less eye. So.
Yeah, exactly. Now, his vision was never good to begin with, so
now it's going to be half as good.
Maybe it'll be corrective surgery, and he'll be hitting the holes left and right, and everybody will be like, "Do to my eye what you did to his eye, man. Come on, let's go."
He might start a new trend.
I'm 3 picks away. We got John, who's going to skip over a guy that he really likes and get mad in 4 rounds. Say, "That was my guy. You took James Conner." And then we got freaking auto pick Malone over here. Okay. Now it works in our favor as we get later in the draft.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's when you start getting your sleepers.
He's probably better off auto pick anyways. He's a Dolphins fan so he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Well, I still think he ended up with Tyreek. So
do I have my flex is still open. I'm gonna leave your boy for you. I won't say who he is. I went and took Alvin Kamara as my flex. He's gonna be their offense.
Yeah.
Hell, he might even play quarterback.
Well, thank you for leaving my boy. I think I know who you're talking about. I'll go ahead and grab Mr. James Conner.
There you go.
Yeah, James Conner. He's the epitome of a guy he's not gonna have huge 30-point games consistently, but he'll give you a good 15 points a game.
He'll give you a good 12 to 15 every week, and that's not
12, 15 every week. You can count on him to be in your flex. If you're beat up with injuries a little bit, put him as one of your starting running backs. Always a guy you can count on. I've drafted him in, I think, all 3 of my leagues. And I'm not reaching on him. He just kind of
screw Mark.
What's that?
John says, "Screw Mark. He's banned." The guy that's auto drafting,
auto picking. I guess he wanted
2 years in a row. He's auto picked John. I wasn't aware of that. The one we did last year was not in the morning like this, so there really is no excuse. So, heard John, but you're gonna have to remind me of stuff like this when we get to next year because I'm not getting younger, so my memory's not getting sharper. It's funny, how can I say this without getting anybody in trouble? Good friend of mine.
Okay.
That person's mother is in a bad way, mentally, forgetting stuff, but not really. Because I told them, your mother is a good 30 to 40 years older than you. That's not meaning that she's like all of a sudden Joe Biden out here freaking bumping into. No, she's like, you just never dealt with your parent being that age. That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
And so when she can't remember stuff I'm like, it's all about, man, don't worry, buddy. It's coming for us if we live that long.
Oh,
What
yeah.
you know about that?
Yeah,
Pickens just went with Doug.
Yep. And then
I like Pickens, but I like him more in a best ball mainly because I don't. So in one of my leagues, one of my guillotine leagues, I ended up with him and CeeDee Lamb. I'm gonna have to go through and look at the roster, but I'm gonna have to bench CeeDee. Sorry, Pickens.
Yeah.
In week 1 against the Eagles, because in those leagues you only get 2 receivers and a flex.
Yeah.
I don't need 2 of my receivers going up against the Philly defense in the same week on a guillotine.
Yeah.
But do I like him as a 3rd, 4th receiver? Absolutely. I targeted him more. I did probably. I didn't count them, but my guess is somewhere between 35 to 40 best ball drafts this year on Underdog. And I targeted him a lot in those, but it was because you don't have to worry about, do I start him or do I sit him? All right, it's my pick now.
Went ahead and got DK Metcalf, by the way.
What's that?
I went ahead and got DK Metcalf, by the way. I think he's going to connect with Aaron Rodgers a lot this year. A big target for him.
I'm going here.
It's going to be.
Give me. Yeah, let's go out and run. I'm expecting big things from Worthy.
Okay.
Xavier Worthy. I'm not convinced Hollywood Brown is anything but a shell of his former self.
Yeah.
And you're going to have Rice out for what, 2 months almost?
Yeah. Well, he got 6 games, right?
Literally 2 months if you count the fact that the bye week too. So he's out 6 games plus the bye week. So that's 7.
Yeah.
In the first 10 weeks, you're not going to have. So it's going to take him forever to get back into the groove. By the time he gets back into the groove, you could be eliminated from the playoffs.
Yep.
And he's my 3rd receiver where I have CeeDee Lamb in London. So I ought to be in pretty good shape. I do worry about CeeDee Lamb in this first game. I'm not going to lie. But
I feel pretty good about him on the whole, though.
Don't you feel like the Cowboys might come out with a chip on their shoulder tonight?
Yeah, I do think they will. I think they'll try and have something to prove, especially on defense with Micah Parsons being traded. Looks like your guy that you've been harping about is close to being there. Let's see what happens here.
Who's that?
I'll wait till auto pick RJ Harvey.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mark's going to auto pick, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There you go.
I have been big on this guy, and I haven't gotten a lot of pieces of him. So give me Tet McMillan.
Okay, I like that.
Kid. So for random reasons, I watched a lot of him in college, mainly because cover the point spread, and that kid is electric, man.
Yeah.
Now, does he have the right quarterback to get the ball to him? That's the question.
Yeah. There's a few guys on the board I like here, so I'm going to go ahead and.
Travis Hunter, he worries me not from a talent standpoint. What is his pitch count going to be? His snap count going to be? If they also have him out there playing defense too.
Yeah. I have him in mind here. I'm thinking about him possibly with my next pick, but I'm gonna take Sam Laporta because there's a few guys I like on the board. So
I love him. Yes, big.
I'll go ahead and scoop up Laporta and then.
Well, the tight end yet. I think that's a great pick. Where are we at in
end of round 6 or no 9? Sorry.
So you got him with the 63rd pick.
Yeah.
Typically, that's going to be at the beginning of the 6th round for most people.
Yeah.
But it's a little skewed because of.
Well, there we go.
Depending on how deep your draft is in different positions.
Doug just went with Egbuka and Diggs back to back. Let's see.
And who?
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. I don't have any shares of him, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, I don't know what to make of him. He's going to a new team on a coach that I like a lot, and I'm going to be pulling for the Patriots. I am an absolute fan, but not of the Patriots, but the new coaching.
Yeah.
For the folks who don't know, I'm a Titans fan, and I never thought he should have been fired. But he's going to want to play ball control offense, and I'm just a little concerned about how many. Travion Henderson I wouldn't have a problem getting. I don't think I got him much because he went way too high for my liking. But let me see. It's my turn.
Yeah. I went ahead and Doug didn't make that any easier on me. I had a few guys that I was looking at, and he didn't pick either of them, so had a tough call to make. I went with
grab Dak Prescott because A, I think he's going to be very good this year, and B, I've got CeeDee Lamb, so I get people bang on the touchdowns.
Yeah. I think getting Bo Nix as number 1 target this late is pretty good value. I'm surprised Cortland Sutton's going this low.
Yeah, I am too. I have him a lot in best ball, so I didn't touch him as much in regular in redraft or dynasty. I'm a little gun shy picking him as I don't want to have so many. See, the thing with Sutton, I believe, is there's going to be weeks where you're going like, God bless, man, I spent this pick on him. He didn't do nothing. The other going to be weeks you're going to be like, that dude's a stud.
Yeah.
So those types of guys, just like George Pickens, I tend to put them in best ball and say, you know what, because I have so many shares of them, I'm okay if I get burned in season long is the term I should have used.
I get that.
I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. I was up doing some late drafts, and then we did the game last night. Go Braves! And now we're back at it. Thank God they're off tomorrow. I mean today. I am wore out.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
And I got stuff that I got production stuff I can't get to because when I should be trying to do it, I'm calling the game, and you can't. I'm like, man, when they go these long routes where they don't get a day off for like a week and a half, it puts me up against it.
Oh, I think oh no, he's there. Saw the board move, and I thought one of the guys looking at
next pick. Don't worry about it because freaking Mark's gonna grab it. Pick bastard.
Oh, he's a little down. He's a few picks down the board, so not worried about the auto picker.
I am going to put those guys there. I think I can get one of them. Man. Now, you know what? I got Xavier Worthy. Give me Rashee Rice for when he comes off the
like it.
The only thing I don't like about it is that there is not a suspension tab for you to put on your roster, like with the IR or a guy who's
that
out.
Would be nice.
And it sucks, man, because if you get too many of those clowns, your roster just flooded with that crap.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and draft the new Vikings captain, one of the new Vikings captain, Aaron Jones. I think he's good value here to have a depth at running back.
It's funny you picked him because I was going to ask you a second ago, but I didn't want to tip anybody's hand or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you not concerned with Jordan Mason coming over? Because that is the biggest narrative in the offseason from all these fantasy experts. They're all trying to snipe Mason, thinking, I don't see it. Like,
I don't think Jordan Mason's all that good
last year that says, well, he's past his prime. He shocked the hell out of me in the season that he had last year. I wouldn't bet against him.
Yeah. I'm not too high on Jordan Mason. Obviously Aaron Jones is going to be the out and out starter. Could get hurt. So I guess that may be a reason why people are going with Jordan Mason. I'm not really sure what they're seeing there.
Well,
so I'm good with Aaron Jones this late, though.
What they're claiming is that he's going to be the target in the red zone. Why? Aaron Jones has never not been good in the red zone.
Yeah, he's always been productive in the
Oh my God, what did I hear? It was a football show the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady who was hosting it kept referring to it as the red area.
Oh, God.
And I was like,
shut up. Red area.
I think we all know how you got this job because you don't know football. You keep along the red area. First time she said it, I was like, well, I'll give her
maybe a slip up, yeah.
Right. You may not be able to think of the term. I get that. But it was all show long. And when you get into that area of the red, and I'm like, oh, man.
Area of the red, wow.
She's only seen graphs. She doesn't even know what it's called. She just sees it up on the screen. It's red.
That area is red. We'll call it that. Yeah, I'm gonna go DJ Moore here.
I'm thinking because she's a girl, because there's a lot of guys out there that say stupid things. But it was, but that into the fact that it was on ESPN. By the way, did you see ESPN found a way to ruin the red zone? Did you see it?
I did. Running ads now.
They're putting ads in the red zone.
Yep. I tell you, they always find a way to ruin something. That's what they're best at.
All right.
Such a sad fall from grace, man. I don't know. I know we're in different eras. I grew up watching that show. I loved watching SportsCenter. I loved watching ESPN. Everything on there. Sucks.
I hate picking this guy because his quarterback sucks, but I feel like he fell too far. Give me Chris Olave.
Okay. My big fear with him is just how often he gets hurt, especially with the concussion.
He does.
Yeah.
It'll be one of
this late though. This late.
What's that?
This late. That's good value still.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you keep looking at it and you're like, dude, am I going to keep freaking punting this?
Yeah.
This is a little absurd.
Like, I'm not over the moon about DJ Moore, but getting him this late.
And I don't think I have to worry about my next target that I have for a hot minute.
Okay.
We should have given Justin the spot, John.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at? We're in the...
It's like the 12th round, about halfway through. Matthew Golden just went on the board. I was looking at him. Or no, we're just at the start of round 2. 12. Apologies. So, Zach Charbonnet in round 11. I like that pick a lot. I really like Zach Charbonnet this late. I was thinking about getting it with my last pick. Anytime he comes in for Kenneth Walker when he's hurt, which last year as a Kenneth Walker, I had him and Zach Charbonnet both. Kenneth Walker got hurt a lot, especially towards the end of the season, in playoff time, in fantasy at least. And Zach Charbonnet filled in for him, and he did great. He was fantastic when he had the most carries. So Zach Charbonnet, I think this late, especially if you have Kenneth Walker, that's the perfect handcuff. So,
dude, this guy's hated by so many people this year. I don't see it. Baker Mayfield, give it. Let's do it.
Yeah, go for that. A good one. I was thinking about getting him as my second
41 touchdowns last year, and they think, oh, well, because he lost his offensive coordinator. He's not going to forget how to throw the football.
Yeah.
And they've got more weapons.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
And I'm probably going to start him in week 1 because I don't like the idea of starting Lamb and Prescott against Philadelphia in the first week.
Yeah.
So that was my other factor in it was he plays the Falcons' terrible defense in week 1. Give it to me.
I'll pick him. Give me Kyler. I'll do it.
Dude, I saw him and I almost said something. I was like, I'll wait till after you picked him.
I'll do it.
I was leaving him for you. I was like, man, I am more concerned about drafting the receiving core from Arizona than I am actually drafting Murray because Murray does not like to throw over the middle. And Marvin Harrison Jr., when he was in college, that's where he lived. And so he's getting targets, but he's not getting the right targets. And as talented as Harrison is, until he gets another quarterback either in Arizona or they trade him, I don't want anything to do with them.
I think Kyler will be out long before Marvin.
I might draft him next year because he'll drop, but I don't want him this year.
I get that. Because
he's getting he's going way too high.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I was, going into that draft, I was the biggest Marvin Harrison Jr. fan. I was praying we got him, and we did. Albeit he's very talented, and I think he's going to get it right on track. But he didn't look great last year. I know he had a 1,000-yard season, but watching him week in and week out, and obviously being a Cardinals fan, there was no team I watched closer than the Cardinals. He didn't impress me a ton. He didn't look as quick as he did in college. He didn't look as sharp in his routes. Anytime he would run like a curl route, he wouldn't come back to the ball and it would get broken up. So there's some things he's got to work on. But yeah, I think give it time. And I think eventually when there's a quarterback change in Arizona, I think he'll start lighting it up.
By the way, I think you're on the clock, bud.
Yeah, no, I'm
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want you
I'm debating between two guys here. got a lot of bench slots, so I can make up for my shallow running back room later. Jacoby Myers being here is too easy. I know you requested a trade, but I don't think that move will get done before the season starts. So I think he'll be the number 1 receiver again out in Las Vegas. And
what was his reasoning for asking?
I don't think they. I think he wanted a contract extension or something of that nature, or pay rise or whatever.
Man,
so I think he's earned. I think he's earned. To be fair, I mean he's been one of the most underrated players in football. So and getting him at 98 at this point in the draft, I mean I'll take that any day. I somehow always end up with him in fantasy in at least one league, even going back to when he was in New England, like early on. So,
man, there's a guy that I have on my list right now. I don't feel like I'm going to pick him.
Yeah,
just talk about him after he goes off the board.
Okay,
but his situation, his talent is real, but his situation is a nightmare. He's probably going to go off the board very, very soon. As soon as I see him go off the board, I'll tell you. But it's going to be a nightmare to try to, unless you have his counterpart and you're willing to keep them both on your roster.
Yep.
Went Caleb Johnson, dude.
Caleb Johnson.
His talent is real, but Arthur Smith is his offensive coordinator, and that is a freaking nightmare to deal with.
Yeah.
That dipstick doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And you're adding the Aaron Rodgers situation into it. And I haven't looked at John's roster. He might have Warren as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I got a question over here. We don't take a lot of them from over there, but we will today. Would you rather roster Mims or Thielen? I have only one spot left. Could also drop Jonnu Smith instead, since I have McBride. I don't think I would drop Smith yet.
No. I think he'll do good in the RG Smith offense.
If you're looking for the short term, it's probably Thielen. If you're looking for the long term, Marvin Mims has looked really good.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to bet on Mims in his situation in Denver because once Addison comes back, Thielen's just going to be running routes. He's going to be a decoy is what he's doing.
I would only pick Thielen if you're I can't imagine you're desperate for a starting receiver off the waivers this early, but if for some reason you are, then I'd pick Thielen.
Or if for some reason I had Jordan Jefferson or if I had hold on. It's my pick. I'm gonna pick the guy who I think is the actual number 1 in Jacksonville, Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby. I like it. I'm not picking either of those two. I don't know. I can't get a good read on that.
But Jordan Addison, if you have him, then Thielen's the safest thing. Just do it. You got the number 2 receiver in Minnesota, and when Addison comes back, you can either kick Thielen off your team and say, but if you don't have him, if this is strictly, I don't have anybody else on either team, give me Marvin Mims all day long.
Yeah.
I hope we got that to you in time, Blurpy, because I just saw. Oh, okay, never mind. You just put the.
There's a tight end I'm looking at. I won't get into it too much because I don't want to give it away. But I think he's going to be there in one pick. So I went ahead and grabbed Jerome Ford, and he is. He's the 4th tight end down on the board. I'm going to go with Colston Loveland though.
He's really.
You're not going to pick him top 10 in the draft, and or the Bears aren't going to pick him top 10 in the draft and just not use him.
I like him a lot on now. The only reason why I'm taking this guy as my backup tight end, make sure I have him, is because I have his quarterback. But I think Jake Ferguson is a bust in most years. But I'll go ahead and take him because I've got Kittle. So the only time I would ever want to start him in a perfect world would be on Kittle's bye week.
Yeah, Kittle does get injured a handful of times, so
he will, and at least I'll have a quarterback and I can double up if they hit, and it makes it a lot easier than I'd start scrolling around on the waiver wire.
I got my eyes on someone on the board here that I think is being a bit underrated.
When's the wedding?
It'll be spring 2027 is the plan right now. That's what we're planning.
Oh, okay. So you're really pumped. All right.
Yeah, we are.
Into the future.
Yeah,
Maybe I'd like to marry you now, but I really want to see who the Republican nomination is for the 2028 election.
That's right. Yeah, I got one more semester after this of school, and I want to get working full time for at least a year, save up some money. So really, we're not going too expensive on the wedding. That's going to be a little bit of we're not going to spend a ton on that. We're going to spend the bulk of it on the honeymoon. We're going to have a ball.
Smart move.
Yep. And she was on. We've been talking about that for a while, like since early on when we started dating, saying if we're going to get married, then we're going to spend big on the honeymoon, as opposed to going all out on the wedding. So we've always been on the same page about that. So
this guy's the number one receiver on his team. I can't pick him at this point. Plus, it'll piss off John a little bit. Shakir.
Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's a nightmare when you talk about red zone opportunities.
Yeah.
But as a guy who's going to be, what is he going to be? My second wide receiver off the bench. I'll take it. I haven't looked at
that. I mean, it's the MVP, Josh Allen's wide receiver one. Getting him this late's crazy. So I get it. I'm going to go with the guy a few picks down the board. Give me Javonte Williams here. Same logic you have, really. Just the number one at their position this late in the draft. I mean, it's good value no matter.
You can't see it.
And I remember
I got it blocked this year, so people can't see my damn screen on my cue.
Yeah.
It's why the configuration is weird as it is.
Yeah,
man, I'm sick and tired of getting, because when we first did this years ago, I think we used Zoom or something. I could crop it, but what I use now, you can't crop what you're sharing. You share the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm not gonna. So what I had was my next guy was gonna be Pittman. I thought about taking him, but I was like, nah, he'll make it back to me. But once again, if I wanted him, I could have grabbed him.
Well, do I go Pittman or Downs? I'm kind of torn between the two. You know what? Actually, there's a few guys I'm looking at here.
Really piss off John.
Yeah.
Are there any other bills on the board?
Shoot, none worth picking. I'm torn between two guys. I'm only gonna go with Pittman here because I was really close to picking Cooper Kupp. Had my cursor hovering over the draft button.
What I thought you were gonna take.
Yeah, but I drafted Cooper Kupp around the same position in the other league, so I figured to switch it up this time and go Michael Pittman because I'm like 50-50 torn between the two. If I had more faith in Michael Pittman's quarterback situation, he would have gone much earlier. But yeah,
what do we got here in the? Let me see if I can get to.
I appreciate leagues that wait to draft defenses.
Yeah.
Actually,
this league is a little more important for that.
Yeah.
But I still think you can stream, man.
Yeah.
I'm really against, man. All right, because I'm gonna go somewhere else on my next pick. I'll go ahead and take Cooper Kupp.
I like it. Let's see.
Now we got two. Who's at the other knucklehead that's auto drafting? Someone climb up.
William.
I don't know who that is. Does it tell me if I click on it? William.
Yeah.
I thought he was in the draft earlier. Was he not?
I think he was. I just guess.
Yeah.
Maybe he bounced and head to work.
If you auto draft at the end, I hold that against you. I get it.
Yeah.
What did I name this team? Oh, show me your TDs. Show me your TDs. This draft's actually moving a lot faster than I thought it was going to move.
Yeah. It looks like we're going to get it done by the top of the hour. Definitely will. Looks like we got like 2 more picks. So.
Right.
I got something. I'm gonna do something. And
Oh, you're gonna do it, buddy.
yeah, and I'll say thank you to you. I gotta credit you for this idea that I have.
That's another interesting situation. Is it Jerome Ford's getting the start, but Dylan Sampson's going pretty high in drafts.
Yeah, and I like Dylan
What is
Sampson.
the deal with the dude? They're so I'm seeing trend big time of folks picking up the kid, the rookie that they drafted. His name's escaping me. The one that has all the legal problems.
Sean Judkins.
Judkins, yeah.
Judkins, yeah.
The idea this guy hasn't trained at all in training camp is going to come as a rookie and be anything. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's
Scatterbo. I like saying the name Scatterbo, and I think he'll eventually be the starter.
What's your take Kansas City's defense here? What's my what?
I wasn't sure if Scatterbo was going to fall to me there.
Yeah.
When I picked Cup, I was like, man, I don't necessarily need him, but it's nice to have Scatterbo.
Scatterbo.
If you didn't see him in college, y'all, he was something else. He was like a utility. He's a cheat code if they figure out how to use him in New York.
Yeah, he was good.
You're giving me credit for taking Kansas City?
No, it's the next pick.
Oh, I was like, all right, I'll take the credit, man, but I don't think I was breaking any ground there.
Yeah, I could.
I would hang.
I'm going to tell you, it's because you're playing me week 1 in the other league, in the $50 league. If that gives you any hints.
Not really.
Not really. All right, you'll see as soon as Doug decides what he's going to pick in round.
I would. Okay, it's on you now. I know who I think. Oh, the Arizona. Yeah, I actually led that off
against the Saints. Yep.
Yeah, I led that off.
Yeah. And I'll be dropping them week 2, but that week 1 they should get me a lot of points for my defense. Oh.
Speaking of that crap, man,
I could care less who I get at kicker, so I figured I'd do something interesting with that pick.
How many? Okay, so I'll go ahead and draft Minnesota's defense.
Yeah.
Do you think the DC ever gets another head coaching job, or did he cause so much of a stink with his lawsuit that everybody wants to? I wouldn't want to hit them if I was an owner, and I'd flat out tell people that's why. They'd say, "Well, aren't you going to hire him? Because he's going to end up suing me at some point."
Yeah. I don't think he will, and also because of the reputation he kind of built in Miami as the head coach there, with all the things that came out about, like, and I'm not saying I'm not trying to be soft or anything, but like, he was pretty hard on Tua. He said a lot of things to him. A lot of
he didn't know how to manage his most important player at the time.
Yeah.
That's a problem as a head coach.
Yeah.
What you are more than anything else. That's why I still say that one of the most underrated coaches, even though everyone always gives him his flowers because he's never had a losing season, man, I still think Tomlin's extremely underrated.
Yeah.
Because
he was able to keep Antonio Brown's head on straight for that long.
It's about all the nut jobs he's had in Pittsburgh, but he's always
Le'Veon Bell as well. Yeah.
But
Ben
he's a
Roethlisberger.
Yes.
I can't even say what he did on there. So I have an idea for my next pick.
I guess I'm going to have to go ahead and draft one because I don't remember how this is set up. And am I going to have to wait 3 days to pick up? I don't think I set it up that way, but what if I had to wait 3 days to pick up a damn kicker?
Oh, that's true.
Not 100% sure.
Yeah.
The guy I'm going to draft is because I got him in most leagues, and it makes it easier to remember what kicker I have. That's the only reason why I'm about to McLaughlin from the Bucks.
There you go.
He'd be the first kicker that I picked up in fantasy or in the year-long drafts.
Yep. Right.
I've picked him up in every league because of it.
I'm going to hope that I can get a kicker in time because I'm going to pick Ayuk and stash him on my IR spot. There we go.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
There.
I'm already going to have enough headaches. I figure I'm good.
Yeah. I'll throw him in that IR spot. And
I've got Rashee Rice on the suspended spot. I don't know what the hell I'm going to get out of Bigsby. Yeah. The list goes on and on and on. I have no idea. So I think this is the first time I haven't drafted someone with an IR spot yet. In this.
All right. Well, there we go.
All right. So that's it. Let me see if we can look at. Can we look at draft results? Are there grades on this, or do you have to go expert rank? Oh, that's something else. Draft.
If you go to standings, it says the projected
standings. That's what I'm looking at. Okay. Standings. I'm at the bottom.
Right there, number 1.
You're number 1.
Yes, sir.
Buddy of mine has been playing fantasy for years. In fact, he's in one of our leagues. He texted me after one of the drafts that I did with him, and he said they've got me projected for. I think they gave him a D minus or something like that. Yeah. I said, dude, you cannot pay attention to that.
No, it's not worth anything
because they all base it off of bye weeks.
Yeah.
So they're averaging what kind of points you're going to get each week. If you have a bunch of guys with the same bye week and you have crappy players, in other words, top picks with the same bye week, it affects your overall rankings. But like all fantasy leagues, the draft is very important, especially in football. But the guys that win them are usually the ones who are very aggressive on the waiver wire.
That's right.
Overall, what'd you think of your team?
I'm happy with it. I know I mentioned Puka Nacua as one of those guys that I'm kind of staying away from a few weeks ago, but I feel a little bit more confident now in Stafford's health, so I feel a little bit better about that. And I still would pick him over AJ Brown there, so I'm happy with Nacua. Obviously, Higgins.
I don't like having AJ Brown, man. I'll be honest with you, because he has the peaks and valleys that I don't want anything to do with.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. I get that.
I think Puka Nacua, assuming health, is going to be dynamic. He's going to be very realistically, not every week, obviously, because you're going to have some bumps in the road, but most weeks you can expect over 100 yards receiving.
Yeah.
And you're going to get close to a touchdown a week from him. AJ Brown, you're going to see spikes. We're a little average out that at the end of the year, but I've had AJ Brown before in Philly. And
some weeks are going to be Devontae Smith weeks. Some weeks are going to be
like, man, if he's a stupid book prop to bring to the game, is he even going to want to play? Like, he's too much of a diva. I like the guys who work. I like the Amon-Ra St. Browns. I don't think I got him at all in this year's.
I didn't have any late picks in any of my drafts. So.
I got stuck with the crap middle picks.
I was all early picks.
The number 1 pick in the Tennessee League that I have been in, I believe, so this is 2015. I believe this is year 22 of that league. Yeah. We're about to hit year 30 in the other Tennessee League, but I finally got the number 1 pick. All these years, I've never had the pick.
Huh.
Ever. I've never had the number 1 pick. You'd think eventually, because it's all randomly generated eventually, but I ended up going Jamar Chase because I was like, man, crap. When am I ever going to have the number 1 pick again?
Yeah.
I think my team's okay. It's always difficult to host and draft, but I ended up with Prescott, Lamb, London, Worthy, Brown, Hampton, Kittle, and Kamara are my starters.
I like it.
And everything else is just, we'll figure it out as we go along. All right, bud. I know you got to go. Yeah. Great job. We'll see you next time. And how about them Knowles, baby? We didn't talk about that. How about them Knowles?
That's right. Hey, speaking of stupid underdogs, I want to rattle mine off real quick. Michigan plus 5.5. Michigan plus 5.5 against Oklahoma. Give me Bryce Underwood. Yep. So you can jot that down real quick. And my lock of the week as well. Dolphins plus 1.5 versus Colts. Get in on that, everyone. I think the Colts are garbage. So there you go.
Daniel Jones gonna make you eat your words, baby.
I'm terrified.
All right, bud. See you next time.
Of course, see ya.
Late.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's closing time, y'all. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Have a great one. On your way out, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to tip your favorite bartender. We'll see you. I'm Magee, signing off for Braves Country Radio.